In the news at noon, 17 southern state governors set to meet in Lagos State today. Senate panel approves proposal on cabinet formation by President within 30 days of assumption of office. More reactions trail recent passage of Petroleum Industry Bill as experts called for speedy assent by President Muhammadu Buhari. On the foreign scene, Indonesia faces oxygen crisis amid worsening COVID-19 surge. In sports, home-based Super Eagles to face New Zealand in an international friendly game in November. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon, welcome to the news on Plans Radio 101.1 FM. I am Bright James. First in the news this afternoon is a report that the 17th Southern State Governors will today converge in Lagos State for a follow-up meeting to the one held in Asaba, Delta State on May 11th. They will reportedly be in one accord as they review the state of the nation as it affects the three geopolitical zones. Reports of the meeting being hosted by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the State House alongside Keja is mainly to further articulate collective interest and reiterate commitment to a united Nigeria capable of guaranteeing equity, fairness and justice in an atmosphere of true federalism. This is coming few months after a similar meeting was held by the governors in Asaba, Delta State, where far-reaching decisions including the ban on open grazing of cattle were made. Other resolutions were the call for the convocation of a national dialogue, demand for restructuring to create state police, review revenue allocation formula in favor of the sub-national unit, and practice of true federalism, as well as demand that appointment into the federal government agencies must be reviewed in line with the principle of federal character, among others. To the red chambers now, where the Senate Constitution Review Committee has ratified a proposal that will compel the President to form his cabinet within 30 days of assumption of office. Governors are also to be mandated to form the Executive Council within the same time frame. Reports say this were part of the proposals voted by committee members, adding that they will form part of the recommendations for the Senate approval during the clause-by-clause consideration of the proposal for review in the Constitution as submitted by the committee. Meanwhile, other major issues decided upon include making it mandatory for the President to make an annual State of the Nation address to Nigerians before a joint sitting of the National Assembly, reservation of 10% slots for women in the cabinet, and other appointment and fixing of specific time for the proclamation of the National Assembly by the President. The committee also endorsed a proposal to make the President to issue the proclamation for the inauguration of the National Assembly on the Tuesday after inauguration on May 29. On security, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC, Akwa Ibom State Command, has called on Nigerians to cooperate with all security agencies to defeat insecurity. The state commandant of NSCDC, Abidemi Bajokodomi, who made the call when he addressed journalists in Uyo, said that modern security management was driven by information required by the security agencies to combat kidnapping, banditry, and other forms of insecurity. According to him, the need to see something and say something is very essential as part of the social contract between the government and the citizens, adding that governments cannot exist in isolation but through the support of the people. In education, the JAMB Registrar Ishaq Aloyade has blamed the coronavirus pandemic for the poor performance of candidates that just concluded Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Speaking with newsman, Aloyade confirmed that this year's UTM results were poorer than those of 3 years ago, adding that the COVID-19 pandemic affected the smooth running of the academic calendar. He said 99.65% scored 120 marks and above out of the possible 400 in 2021, as against 99.80% in 2020. In a separate development, several reactions have trailed the passage into law of the Petroleum Industry Bill (PIB) by the National Assembly, as experts also seek the presidential assent to bill to further develop the nation's petroleum sector. Speaking on Planet FM, the executive director of Policy Alert, an advocacy organization, Tija Bolton Akpan, while commending the Ninth Assembly for passing the bill, said there were, however, contentious sections in the bill that were not properly addressed by the lawmakers.
Section 250 that places the first line protection of installations on the host community advisory committee has been deleted. But we are worried that section 257 is still retained, which says that any damages which are not caused by technical or natural causes will be deducted from the entitlements of the community to the host community trust fund. That means what you've given us in section 250, you're taking it back in section 257. That's actually a very disturbing provision.
On the importance of the legislation, Akwana explained that the bill aims at establishing good governance, best practices, and ease of doing business in the petroleum industry, noting that its passage at this time is a welcome development.
The PIB sought to establish good governance, best practices, the ease of doing business in the oil and gas industry. So the host communities who bear the brunt of all the extraction happening in the industry have over the years got the shorter end of the stick in terms of benefits. And that is something that Chapter 3 of the Petroleum Industry Bill actually addresses. Yes, so we think that it's a right step in the right direction. We think that it's a little too late, but then it's better late than never. And we also think that it's something that we can hold in our hands while chasing the bigger thing that we need.
The Petroleum Industry Bill 2020 is a law in the making which seeks to introduce far-reaching reforms in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. It was first presented to the National Assembly in 2008. Away from that, gunmen have reportedly attacked the police divisional headquarters in Odongoko, Kwara State, leaving at least 3 officers severely injured. Police Public Relations Officer Fiodiko McDonald confirmed the incident to newsmen in Odongoko, said at least 3 officers sustained fatal injuries resulting from heavy gunshots as policemen on duty tried to repel the attack. The PPRO, however, commended the officers on duty for their gallantry, noting that the situation would have been worse but for the policemen on duty who repelled the attack. According to him, the officers who sustained gunshot wounds are currently receiving treatment in an undisclosed hospital in the state. Now to Caledonia State, where gunmen suspected to be kidnappers in the early hours of today invaded Bethel Secondary School, Maramara in Chikun local government area of Kaduna, kidnapping an unspecified number of children. Reports say the hoodlums stormed the school premises located in the outskirts of the metropolis around 1 a.m., shooting indiscriminately and made away with scores of children. Meanwhile, 2 persons are said to have lost their lives, while 4 of the children are said to have escaped, and the rest were taken away by the gunmen to an undisclosed location. You're listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Will you? Let's take a breather and then bring more stories from the foreign, sport, and entertainment scenes. To stay with us.
So, my son, welcome to the Kalangulo Shrine. The gods are with us. What can I do for you?
Baba, the witch do me and I even sick self. I think say him give me HIV.
Eh? No.
What do you mean, Baba?
No way anybody fit use witch give you HIV. If anybody tell you that one, na lie them talk. Because witch no fit give person HIV.
No matter how the wind strong, nobody fit give or carry HIV from witchcraft.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, the foreign city Indonesia's government has ordered producers to prioritize medical oxygen amid the COVID-19 surge and a shortage of oxygen in a number of cities. Hospitals say they've almost exhausted supplies, with one reporting that 63 patients died as a result of oxygen shortages. Indonesia is recording more than 25,000 new cases every day. Increased travel and the highly contagious Delta variant have exacerbated the crisis. Still on the foreign scene, the remaining section of a partially collapsed apartment block near Miami has been demolished over safety fears as a tropical storm approaches Florida. Sunday night, explosive charges were used to bring down the last standing part of a Chaplin Tower South, which had been evacuated. On the 24th of June, part of the block suddenly collapsed. 24 people are known to have died and 121 are still missing. In sport, the home-based Super Eagles will face New Zealand in an international friendly game in November. This was disclosed by Super Eagles media officer Bafemi Raji. According to Raji, the game against New Zealand is one of the friendlies planned by the NFF for the home-based players. The early hours of Sunday, the Super Eagles took on Mexico in a high-profile friendly in Los Angeles, where they were hammered 4-0. Still in sport, Akwa United's hope of winning the Nigerian Professional Football League crown this season received a major boost on match day 31 after they picked a valuable point in jaws following a goalless draw with 2017 champions Plateau United on Sunday. The draw in jaws means that Akwa United have taken 4 points from a possible 6 against Plateau United this season, having won the first leg 1-0 in Uyo. On the entertainment scene, American singer, songwriter, Her has narrated her experience in working with former U.S. President Barack and wife Michelle Obama on a new Netflix series, saying it was a life-changing experience. Reports say the 24-year-old singer joined forces with the former U.S. president to help make the animated series We the People, which focuses on educating children through music. It has been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. But before we go, a recap of the major stories. In the news, we told you the 17 southern state governors will today converge in Lagos State for a follow-up meeting to the one held in Asaba, Delta State on May 11th. They will reportedly be in one accord as they review the state of the nation that affect the 3 geopolitical zones. The Senate Constitution Review Committee has ratified a proposal that will compel the president to form his cabinet within 30 days of assumption of office. Several reactions have trailed the passage into law of the Petroleum Industry Bill (PIB) by the National Assembly, as experts also seek the presidential assent to the bill to further develop the nation's petroleum sector. On the foreign scene, we told you that Indonesia's government has ordered producers to prioritize medical oxygen amid the COVID-19 surge and a shortage of oxygen in a number of cities. And in sport, we reported that home-based Super Eagles will face New Zealand in an international friendly game built for November. For a comment and coverage of newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. That is 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and also like our verified Facebook page at Planet101FM. The news is edited by Jane Owa. As we end the news, be reminded that failure can never overtake you if your determination to succeed is strong enough. So keep your commitment and determination alive. I am Bright James. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening.